So this video shows you how to add the furniture and cabinets and so on to your kitchen for this week's assignment. So first of all, you're obviously going to want to go to Homestyler, log in, and then just like before, go to My Designs, and then find your design that you want to open. Mine is called OSH for One Story House, Miss G. So you want to click Edit Design here. I'm going to go to my already opened version of it. Right, and if you look at my layout, I have basically an L-shaped kitchen countertop. This picture here shows a double sink. This is your oven. This is your refrigerator. That's what the REF stands for. So you're going to have to do this based on whatever your kitchen looks like and do your best to match it. Some of the components in Homestyler are going to make it a little bit tough for you to match exactly, but so you use your best design decisions to make your kitchen look good. So you're going to want to start by finding kitchen cabinets under the catalog. Now what I suggest is come here to kitchen and click on base cabinets. And the problem here is you don't want to start mixing cabinet types. You can see this one has a black countertop. This one has more of a brownish colored countertops. You also wouldn't want to put a silver drawer cabinet or blue cabinet in with white. If you look at most kitchen designs, they try to stay pretty common. So I suggest this is a good one because there are multiple types of it. The problem is when you run into one ofs, like where there's only one of something and it won't fit everything you need, but you go ahead and look around if you'd rather do a contemporary kitchen where things look a little more modern. This one's nice because it has one with a hole for the sink. So this is your choice, but I'd say pick a cabinet type and stay with it. Now I'm going to place this against the wall. And it's always good to look over here and see what you're looking at. I mean, I know that's a small view, so it's hard to see, but that looks pretty good. Most of these cabinets should be about the same or the correct size. I'm not going to put a cabinet here because that's where your sink's going to go. But now what I suggest is Control C and Control V to paste it rather than having to go back into that menu and find the same one again. You might think you found the same one, but it's slightly different or so on. So I'm going to copy and paste that down, but you can see this is much too big to fit within that stove and refrigerator. So I'm going to just change the size of it. Ideally, you would be sticking with sizes that are available from the manufacturer, but for this purpose right now, we're just going to do this. All right, now this is the tough part for this type of kitchen. With the L-shaped cabinet, I haven't found a countertop that I can put in here that will match the other countertops and have a sink hole and overhang for the chair. So we're going to just, like I said, make this look as best we can. If we were in the classroom using Revit, we could do a little bit better job. So I just did another copy and paste. And I'm going to click this down, and now I'm going to rotate this and place it up against here. Now, obviously, this is not ideal either because if you look in here, these cabinets are slammed up against each other. It'd be ideal if you found an L-shaped or corner cabinet here. You can look through here and do that. I'm also going to sort of cheat this and make it a little bit wider. You obviously wouldn't want this because you would want your countertop to overhang rather than having a cabinet below, but that's what we're going to do for now. And I'm going to place this one down as well. Now you can see this is overhanging a little bit. One thing I want to show you too, if I happen to click off of that countertop and now I want to come in here and move it, you have to click it once and now click it to move it. If I'm clicked off of it and I just click and drag, it moves the entire picture. So you have to click on it first and then try to move it. You can also use the arrow keys to just nudge things a little bit, or you can change their width and so on over here. So if you want to make sure these two match, you can see that this one's length is 3.2. This one's also 3.2, so that means they're the same. Now I'm going to make it so that this countertop that ends here matches this. So I'm just going to take a couple inches off of each of these. And you can see I did too much. So let's make this maybe 3-3. Now I'm going to click again and nudge it with my arrow keys until they're lined up. And this I'm just going to drag so that it's the whole width of the other one. And now if you look from the 3D view, you don't even really see that that's not really looking right. We could probably find a cabinet that's shorter here, but then we would have no countertop in this corner. So we're just going to go with this for now. And I'm going to go back out. I'm going to grab a sink now because there was a sink in this layout. Actually, I'm just going to type kitchen sink in here. Sometimes it's easier just to type it up here than to go through the search. And here's a double sink that looks similar to what it was asking for. So I'm going to plop this one down in here. And unfortunately, it looks like it went below the countertop. Yep, there it is. If you click on this, you're going to see that the height is 3 feet. So I'm going to set this sink's lift at 3 feet, which is the same as its height off the floor. And there, now it's sticking out. I'm going to rotate it so that the neck of the sink is at the back. And move it forward like it is in the original layout. And now I'm going to move this back into its place. I'm not going to really like the way this looks because it's 3 feet to the bottom of the sink, as you can see here. So we're going to want to play with this until we get that right. And that's still obviously not right. So that's something you're going to want to play with and see what it takes to make it look good. Ideally, we have a hole in this countertop. It also wouldn't work because we have this split between two cabinets. But for now, I just want you to learn how to load some components in this program and create a layout. Okay, going back to our 2D view to add the appliances. We still need our stove and our refrigerator. And so if you look, I can say ranges and cooktops, which are your range, your oven. Keep coming down, and here's a regular floor standing oven. I'm going to put that in there. Maybe make it a little bit wider. And now we need a refrigerator. That one looks good. Plop that in, and now you can see we're starting to get there. We're just missing the wall cabinets now. So if you go back and click wall cabinets, these are the ones that mount to your wall. You're going to want to stick with something that looks the same as the base cabinet. I know this was the type of cabinets that I was using, and they automatically rotate so that they're mounting to the wall. So I'm going to click one down. You can look at this view and see that it obviously is too low. If you look at this picture, you can see the normal height or typical height from the floor up to the bottom of your cabinets is 36 inches, which is your countertop, plus another 16. So that is 52 inches off the ground. So let's go back to our design. Oops, not that one. And our lift, which is the height off the ground, I'm going to type 52 and give the inch sign, and then it will convert that to the right height. So I'm going to copy and paste that twice. Actually, I'm going to start by making this less wide. So let's just say 2 feet now. And that looks like it's not going to be wide enough, but I'm going to Control-C-V to get another one. And you're going to want to make those so that they fit. And copy another one and put it over here. This one I'm going to change right away. I think 2.6 should work. If you're not sure, you can go to that countertop below. Oh, and that one is 2.8. So this one above should also be 2.8. That looks too wide. So maybe my refrigerator is actually on. Oh yeah, you can see that my countertop below is actually inside my fridge. So I'm gonna actually make that narrower. And you're gonna have to do this based on your dimensions. So that's why I don't want to take the time to do everything exactly right. And so this is what you're gonna roughly want to do with your kitchen layout. Fill that gap so that they're all the same size. I'm gonna call this good, whatever it ends up being. Make sure everything lines up. And now you can see, oh, one last thing, sorry. I'm gonna control C and V another countertop into here. Now, that's too high to be above the stove. That wouldn't meet fire code regulations because what's on your stove might um, cause a fire on the cabinet above. So what you're going to need to do is change the height of it and the lift. So I'm going to take, let's say, 2 feet off of this. So I'm going to say that it is only 1'4". And then that means for it to have the same height here, I'm going to add 2 feet. A pretty high up cabinet, but that's approximately what you'd want. And now I would say our kitchen appliance and cabinets are done. You can put one of these taller ones above the fridge too. The only thing I'm missing now is a table here. So you can come here, and a good place to get tables for the kitchen is go to the dining room tables, even though it's not in the dining room, it's in the kitchen. You'll just see that there are a lot more tables in there. And let me just put a table right here. And now, lastly, to add some accessories, you could add plates to your table or really pictures or anything to your countertop, something to make it look like the house is lived in. And to get there, you would say accessories. Here's some plates. The one trick when you're adding these, first of all, that's too big of a place setting for a small table. You also want to make sure that it is at the right height. So if you look right now, my plate is floating off my table. That's because it's not as high as the table. So you have to make sure you know the height of the table and where everything is. So I'm going to change this to 3 feet and make sure that's actually placed on the table. Now that's not a great place setting for that table, like I said, but you find something that works better. You could also add pictures or anything to your countertop. Just make sure that the lift is correct. Right, so if you look right now, it's actually on the floor. I happen to know that these countertops, let's see, just to check, the height is 3 feet. So now if I click back on the picture, I can say the lift is 3 feet, and now it'll be up on the counter. If you don't like where it's placed, I think it's easier to move it around in the floor plan view. And somehow it went back to being on the floor, so I'm going to change the lift back to 3 feet, and there we go. Now you can see there's a little picture there. So that's it for the kitchen. I would like to see you put a cabinet above the fridge rather than looking like that. You could also add a piece of artwork to the wall over here somewhere. And that's it for the kitchen. Just keep watching so you can see how to paint the walls. That'll be the next video.